I think our team could beat any team in the world at that time today.
Why not speak to your teammates then?
Me and Scottie and Michael never had a conversation in 3 years.
How common was it for you during the NBA regular season to jet off to Vegas to party for a day?
Oh yeah, you know, go for a buck and screw for two.
Did you really get your scrotum pierced?
You wanna go there, brother? Come on, Mr. Conservative guy. This guy's nuts. I'll tell you.
You told Playboy magazine once that you would visualize being with men.
Well, if you go back in the 1700s and 1600s, being with a guy was a Are you kidding me? Look at Julius Caesar, all the goddamn rulers of the world, they was gay as hell.
How conscious were you, though, of a need to sort of project an image for yourself?
If I had to do it all over again, I'd probably do it all over again.
So I wanted to start by talking with you about the NBA today. What do you think of the state of the game presently?
I mean, right now?
Sure.
Well, it's different back in 1999 when they did this whole like a lockout thing. The players today are pretty much, they're trying to be more profiled than anything in the world.
How so?
Just because, you know, back in 1998, 99, where they, we didn't have to go and play and make money and try to be like, be in the limelight. But the players today is more like, okay, great, we're gonna get back to the kids, we're gonna do this, okay, great. But the players today are really, you know, times have changed in the last 12 years. Times have changed, I mean, as far as the visibility, marketing ability, and stuff like that. And since it's gonna be a lockout this year, people think it's gonna be cool, they're gonna come out this lockout like the NFL. No, this is gonna go a little deeper than 1999. It's gonna be really weird because they're like $1 billion apart, and these owners that are very, that's very, I don't want to say cheap, but more like they don't have the money to afford these players today. And like I said earlier, these owners, that's their fault. That's the owner's fault. And now they're paying for it. And all of a sudden now, when they got players making $60, $80 million and not playing for 4 or 5 years, that's a problem. That's a problem because all of a sudden, you know, that collective bargaining agreement is really kicking them in the ass right now. It's not like the NFL and baseball and stuff like that where you can sit there and cut somebody and the money gone. No, you got to pay these players to the end of their contract. I mean, to fall them out.
What do you think the end result of the lockout is?
The players got to come to a 50-50 agreement. That's basically what it's all about, that 50-50. And the owners want 50-50, that way they won't lose their ass in the end.
I wanted to mention a few players and just get the immediate thoughts that come to mind. The first one would be a guy you played with way back when, Kobe Bryant.
Oh yeah, I played with Kobe Bryant. I played him, and matter of fact, I played in 1999 with him. When the lockout ended in January, they asked me to come to play with them in January, and I played with him in the beginning of February before the All-Star game. And he's a good player. He's a great player, actually. He developed into a great player. I first played against him when he was like 19 years old, when he first came in the league. And, he's just like Michael Jordan, but a couple of years earlier.
What about another guy you played with, Shaquille O'Neal?
Oh no, he's a good guy. I mean, you know, Shaquille became this we call it a poster boy for big guys. You know, he's like the big and tall poster boy. And, you know, he's a big kid and a big man's body. And he's a good guy, you know. Me and him had our disputes along the years, but we get along pretty good.
What about LeBron James?
You know, LeBron's LeBron. You know, LeBron's like the Tiger Woods of basketball, pretty much. And you can't tell him what to do. I mean, he's, you know, like they call him, he's the kid of the block.
Dwayne Wade?
Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade has been lost in a shuffle right now.
How so?
Because, you know, you got all these stars today and he's getting lost. And I think the fact that when LeBron came to Miami, that LeBron actually actually took a step back and let Dwayne Wade do his thing. And then it's just very hard when you got two egos trying to mix in.
How about the whole Miami Heat team?
Well, most of them suck. And Mike Miller's stealing. Let's see. Chris Bosh. I think that Pat Riley tried to put a nucleus together, and it's amazing that it didn't work out for Pat Riley. And I always said about Pat Riley. Pat Riley's a great coach. He's a great coach. Back in the 80s, he was the and he wants to be Phil Jackson so bad. He wants to beat Phil Jackson so bad. But you know what, man, you won a couple championships, I won 11. You won 5, I won 6. Who cares? We got them.
I want to take you back to your NBA career. What did you most enjoy about your 2 championships with the Detroit Pistons?
Just being there.
Just being there?
Just being able to just be a part of it. Just the fact that, Jack McCluskey gave me an opportunity to just even, he took a chance on a young kid. When I was young, I was 25 years old. A young kid that came in, worked his ass off, and Chuck Daly just gave me the break to say, I'm gonna keep giving you this chance because you work your ass off. You work hard in practice. You work hard in the game, and he saw something in me, and I give those guys praise.
How would you describe the respect that you have for Coach Chuck Daly?
I mean, he's like a father figure because I didn't really have anybody in Detroit. I didn't really know anybody, and I was 25 years old coming from the ghetto, and it's very difficult to at least blast in the spotlight at such a middle age as I was, because a lot of kids today are coming in at 19, 20. I came in at 25, and blossomed at literally at 27, 28. And a lot of guys are already been successful at that age. But I was just really still getting my ears wet at the moment, because I didn't been anywhere, besides, Texas and Missouri, and that was it, stuff like that. But I never been around the country like that, and I got used to it very quick. And the guys around me, Chuck Daly really put some intuitive things in my head.
How did he help you?
Well, he just kept me balanced. He kept me level-headed. He kept me understanding that the fact that, this is a business, this is a game. Enjoy yourself. Don't put yourself in position to get influenced by certain people. And he just kept telling me, Dennis, come to my house. I want you to come over here because, I didn't have no family. I just listened to him all the time, him and his wife and Terry, his daughter. We sit there at the house, before you go in his house, he had white carpet, because, you walk in his house, take your shoes off like you're in Japan. And so it's like, walk in his house, take the shoes off, okay, great. And he had this old badass little chihuahua just try to bite people. But, that's why I like it about it, because everything about him was very cool, man. And he kept everything very level-headed.
He ended up resigning as head coach of the Pistons. To what extent, and you've spoken about this before, but do you feel he was betrayed by the organization?
Well, it was very difficult when in 1998 and 99, when we first won our first championship, we actually came together in training camp, and he actually came to us and said, he put us down. He said, I don't know if should I stay or should I go? And they want to kick me out. And we all took a vote and said, no, we want you to stay for the 89-90 season. And it's very difficult because that's when things started to really unfold for the Detroit Pistons. And he stayed, and it was very cool, but it was very trying at the time. Because that championship was more like, okay, great, we need to stay on top. Compared to the 86, 87, we lost in Boston and in the East Conference Finals, and we in 87, 88, we lost to the Lakers. We should have won that.
Yeah, a foul away basically from winning the championship, right?
Yep, pretty much. And 88, 89 is when we won it. That's when they started calling us the bad boys. And but 89, 90, it was when things started to get really rocky.
After he resigned and the team started being broken up, you said in your book that you essentially spent an entire month in your house because of that. What did you do?
I didn't do a damn thing. I tried to play the drums. I had friends come over, we'd play instruments, we'd play music and stuff like that. Sit there writing on the walls, quotes about every day, what happened. I had a whole bedroom pretty much besides this room, and I wrote every day a quote about every day. And my friends come over, they come in the house, bring some food, and they write quotes around the wall, the whole damn room.
What type of quotes?
There's quotes about anything, what you heard today, what you saw today. A quote, just maybe a line,
What were you going through emotionally then?
Oh no, just trying to figure out what direction I was going. It wasn't a death wish for me. And at first, I'm gonna die because, things are going to hell, no. It was more like, just trying to get things together, pretty much, what's the direction I was going. Do I get traded, or am I going to persevere in the city or go somewhere else?
The Chicago Bulls, what do you know about all the research they did preceding you and the organization reaching an agreement to, bring you on?
It was no research. Why you research Dennis Rodman? Everyone knows.
I mean, didn't they interview former players and all that sort of stuff?
I could answer that question in a very great term. Why would you interview someone that's been successful? Because I don't think any team I've been on, I failed. Not one. Distraction, not one. A winner, every damn day. So you know what? And if you ask me these questions, and it's amazing that I know you want me to answer these questions for you. And it's amazing that I'm the winningest player to ever play the game of basketball. Winningest player. And every team I've been on, I've been a winner. And most of the games I won, pretty much 85% of them. And I wasn't a bench player. I wasn't a guy that's walked on a 10-day contract. I was a major contributor of a team. That's why the Jerry Buss and the Mark Cubans came and asked me, jump on a G5 and ask this guy here. Not that guy, come put people in the stands.
Tell about that first time you went to the Bulls general manager's home, Jerry Krause's.
Oh, Jerry Krause, I saw him at the Hall of Fame. That surprised me he was there.
Really?
It surprised me he was there at the Hall of Fame this year. It was cool. And I saw his wife, I'm like, wow, I forgot you can cook me some matzo balls. So, Jewish. So, no, I was surprised to see him. And I saw Phil Jackson because those guys don't get along. It was, I just took it as a grain of salt. I'm not one of those guys that really is so gung-ho about, okay, great, I'm going to the general manager's house and get some damn money. I'm got a lot of money. No, my style is about what they have a good time and just rock. Let's go make money. Let's go do our thing.
You end up winning 3 championships.
Winning 3 championships. People really, if you really go back and actually see some of the argyles of that whole thing. When I got traded from San Antonio to Chicago, they went from 12-1 to 3-1 in a matter of a day. Because people said, well, that's the piece they needed, because this is what people lose the whole the ambiance about Dennis Rodman. People forget about San Antonio. When I went to San Antonio, I won 130 games in 2 years. I was 130 games in 2 years out of what? 164? And everybody forget about San Antonio.
Well, why do you think that is?
Because when I went to San Antonio, I probably had my best years. Those 2 years. I averaged almost 19 rebounds a game in 2 years. No one's ever done that. I mean, how do you go from an organization that groomed you and developed you and be a successful person to go to another organization and fit in that well No one does that. I don't give a sh. I'm sorry. I don't give a sh what organization you're in. You just don't fit in that well that quick.
How were you able to do it?
My mindset did one thing, when you got 12 guys on a team that groom you, and it's just ingrained in your mind and how things work, you're gonna always keep that. It's always like, it's like a computer chip. And it's like, wow, I'm a defensive player now. I'm this, I'm that. I have to keep doing it. I kept putting myself in that regiment, that routine. I got to do this, I got to do this. This is my job, this is my job, this is my job. And I went back to my college days when James Rich always said, Dennis, you got to get up and work, earn your money. And every day at 5:30 in the morning when I get on the farm, I never did that before, but I kept doing it every day over and over again. I said, wow. I started to like it, to work. I started to like to work. And when I went to San Antonio, it was just, you could ask anybody in that organization, did they hate Dennis Rodman what he did?
The Bulls and those 3 championships that you won along with Michael Jordan, Scottie, Pippen, what do you think made those teams so dominant?
I think the individuals. You got the great player. You got a great Michael Jordan. People just don't get it. Michael Jordan left and came back. He sucked in baseball. He came back in basketball and won 3. No one's ever done stuff like that. That's unheard of.
But it's not just individuals though, too, right? It's a team sport,
it's a whole team.
Mesh.
A friend of mine's right there that runs my stuff right there. He met Steve Kerr and Jud Bushler, all the guys. If you compare our team to, say, the Lakers or anything like that, we couldn't match up. We could match up the first 4 people. You got Michael, Scottie, Dennis, and Kukoc. After that, you talk about the medium of the mediums in the NBA. But if you go to teams like the New Yorks or people like that that's really talented, really talented-wise, athletic-wise, we didn't match up, but these guys on my team in Chicago, it was amazing how these guys do. You have to sit there and listen to these guys in the locker room and stuff like that, dude. They knew their role. They knew how to play the game. And you got the Steve Kerr. If Michael Jordan's in a problem, in a fix, Steve Kerr will be right there. And God darn it, he gonna hit that damn shot, boy. I guarantee you, boy, he's gonna hit that shot, boy. Or the Jud Bushlers, or the Randy Brown, or the Luke Longley, or the Tony Kukoc. Those guys, they will hit that shot. And that's what they call a team role players. And I think our team could beat any team in the world at that time today.
What do you think your fondest memory was of playing with Jordan?
No, we're friends. That's the memory. We're friends. We're compadres on the floor. You really don't look at. We don't praise each other on the floor. We absolutely adore our abilities to win. To win.
What would you say your most satisfying win of your career was?
Probably the first championship in Chicago.
Why?
Just because they thought I couldn't do it. It wasn't like an individual thing. It's more like, okay, Gray, they thought I was the bad boy when I left San Antonio, and then I came to Chicago, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, he's out there really, he's going to destroy this team, really. I forgot we won 72 games. We lost 1 game in the playoffs, the whole playoffs, and we won a championship. That's my satisfying win, the last game.
What do you think, because of maybe your appearance at the time or how the media viewed some of your behavior, do you think there was maybe the incorrect public perception that there wasn't all the hard work that you put in to make you successful? It just kind of came naturally?
I think a lot of people understood the way I did what I did. I think that they saw me when I worked on the floor. The people in Chicago and people in Detroit. I think people in San Antonio didn't really respect it because I think they saw it's more of it's an easy thing for me to do, to run it down, rebound, do things for David Robinson and stuff like that. But in Chicago, they really respect my game. After maybe a couple of months, it's okay, great. This guy's good. as far as a working man, not as a star, as an athlete. He's a working guy, and I relate to people. I relate to people. I always go out and talk to people all the time, and I go out all the time, have a good time, and make friends. But my perception, man, I don't care about my perception. That's why I think people relate to me around the world. You don't never see me on TV handcuffed or locked up or shooting people or stabbing people or anything that's outrageous. You see me doing outrageous clothes or something like that. That's about it. That's about as far as it goes.
In terms of your game, how did you go about really developing your craft?
I used to go to the gym all the time with my friends. I bring my friends, we party all the time. I bring my friends to the gym. I said, guess what? Shoot the ball. Shoot the ball. I mean, you guys go down there, you go over here, shoot the ball. And I just turn my back, shoot the ball, and then when he shoot it, I turn around and go get it, and then boom, go down there, and then shoot it. That way, I did it all the time. I mean, literally almost every day, every night.
How much more helpful was that for you than
it was just because
it
kept my mind sharp. It kept my mind on the game of basketball. It kept my mind developed as far as even though the ball's over there, I'm gonna try to go get it anyway. Even if both balls over here, I'm gonna go get it anyway. Even the balls can pop over this way, guys, I'm gonna go get it anyway. It kept me like that all the time. Kept me aware the whole time.
How often would you watch tape?
I watch tape all the time.
Why?
Just because I wanted to, because I wasn't the biggest guy on the floor. Because I used to play the 3, the 4, the 5, and I had to guard the biggest guy. And I wanted to figure out what's their weak points, what leverage can I have, how can I rebound, how can I put myself in position to do this. So I just watch players.
You had a reasonably interesting weight workout schedule too, in terms of what you did before and after the games. Explain what was involved in that.
I was involved. No, I wasn't too much involved. I think I can't answer that more than the players can. I mean, every day, literally, every shoot around, every practice, I think anyone that has been around me as far as being on the bus, I was the only guy to ever say, can you stop me at the gym? And I get off the bus and walk to the gym every day. I mean, every game, before a game, I go to a gym. After practice, go to a gym. After the game, be in the gym.
When you were playing, to what extent would you know during a game where the ball was going to go before it would ever go there?
It took me a while to understand that one because I just watched tape. And I watched my players on my team when they're shooting certain spots. I know Steve Kerr gonna shoot this, I know Mike's gonna shoot that. And I just put myself in a position when I know if he's gonna come this way, I gotta go this way and put myself in a position because I know it's gonna come here. But if you got Tony Kukoc, he gonna shoot over here because he's a left hand. He gonna shoot on this side. He can't shoot on that side. He gonna shoot on this side. So it's like I gotta put myself over there because I know it's gonna pop up or whatever. So it'll be long. So I mean, you just gotta understand with players, and I developed that whole skill about the players.
How long did it take you to learn that?
A few years, probably about 8, 9 years.
What sort of energy would you say you brought to a game?
Well, I think I didn't bring energy. I thought I brought just the perception of working hard. I think, that people knew me and they got used to me being Dennis Rodman, the guy is going to be there every game.
Well, but I mean, there was more to it than that. There was this excitement, wasn't there?
Well, people got to the point where they said, okay, great, what is he going to do now? What is he going to do now? He going to do something. He going to do this. What's his hair color? This. He going to throw the jersey to me today. He going to do this. I'm like, I brought the perception, but it wasn't about me. It was always after the game. It wasn't before or, doing all the, the stuff like that. And because, before the game, I never do anything. I never shoot. All I do is stretch out. You gotta go play. Because I didn't have to shoot the damn ball. All I gotta do is rebound, play defense. So it was perception of what I was going to do after the game or during the game.
You would listen to Pearl Jam regularly before a game. Why Pearl Jam?
When I first met him in 1991 in Detroit, it's just the vibe and the music and the way he speaks and since Eddie Vedder is one of my very, very good friends. Very good friends. That's why I'm going to see him for the 20th anniversary. We got to know each other so well, that it just, just listen to him. It's more like, it's more like having a Dr. Feel-Good brother all the time. But, he's there all the time when you just can listen to him on a CD or the radio or something like that, and you know what he's talking about. And it's hard to really explain that one, but it's very good to feel someone that actually likes,
Because you knew him? That's part of why you...
Not because I knew him, just because I just loved his music. I loved the band's music, because they speak from the heart. They sing from the heart. It wasn't about the money. When he gets, and my ex-girlfriend was married to their own Ticketmaster. And when they came out and said, we're going to rebel against Ticketmaster, they just stopped. They would sell their own tickets, and they still sold out. And it was the first band that ever do that, not to sell tickets on Ticketmaster or anything like that. And that right there gave me a lot of respect for them. A lot of respect, because it's like, it's not about, it taught me one thing: it's not about the money. It's about pleasing people that gave you opportunity. How
would that music make you feel emotionally before a game?
Well, emotionally, it made me feel good. All it did was it gave me an extra boost when you're feeling droggy sometime, when you're feeling a little down. But it's more like, okay, the motivation factor, yes, because you know what? You listen to music because he talks about his mother. He talks about the trials and tribulations, about his past history, his relationship, about his wife. He just talks about what he sees, and it's very difficult to talk about Eddie Vedder, because we'll sit down, like I go to Chicago tonight, and I guarantee we'll sit down in the lobby or the house and write a song, and he'll go sing it, and that's what I respect about him.
Your then teammate, while you were with the Bulls, Scottie Pippen, was quoted as saying, "I have not had a conversation with Dennis. I've never had a conversation with Dennis in my life, so I don't think it's anything new." Why not speak to your teammates then?
Well, I didn't think it was important. I thought it was important for me to go there and win. It wasn't, I don't have to have a job to speak to people. My job is to correlate and understand how people work and do one thing, and make people believe the fact that you belong there. Talking to people will come. Relate to people will come. If they see you performing and doing your job and being with a group, that's all I want. That's all I want. Me and Scottie, we're cool. Me and Scottie, we're cool today. We're a little older, we're a little wiser, but we're cool today. Me and Scottie never had a conversation. Me and Scottie and Michael never had a conversation in 3 years in Chicago. Only time we had a conversation is on the court. That was it. And nobody believes that. I said, well, only people I had a conversation with probably Jud Bushler, Randy Brown, Steve Kerr, Luke Longley, other players. With me, Mike and Scottie, we never had conversations at all off the court.
And it wasn't just you, Michael, and Scottie either. Your dear friend, Jack Haley, and who was your teammate on multiple teams, including with the Spurs, once said, he was speaking about the first time he was around you, "My locker was right next to Dennis's. I walked in the first day and said, 'Hey, how you doing? I'm Jack Haley,' and got a nothing response. No handshake, no look, not even a grunt." And when Haley was your teammate on the Spurs, he said you essentially wouldn't talk to anybody else on the Spurs except for him. Was it a conscious decision you made to avoid talking to teammates?
No, my job was to go and do my job. And, I think when you get to the point where, you trust in people, especially in this business, I think it's a very, it's a root of all evils when you get very involved and very emotional with an organization. It'll beat you up. And when you think that, things are safe, it's not safe. And when you come to a safe haven, when you come from a safe haven, and it's like, oh God, all of a sudden things started to disperse. Or like, oh God, and all of a sudden you lose your mind. When I went to San Antonio, he could be right there next to me right here. He'll say, how you doing? He'll talk to me. I won't say a word to him. I won't say one word to him. Then next thing you know, I start talking to him. He's probably the only guy I talk to, really, every day. Everybody else I didn't say two words to. I just went and did my job.
How much, if at all, do you think that helped you kind of keeping to yourself?
I think it helped me a lot, but I think it kept me focused. It kept me focused. I didn't have a dad. I really didn't have a real dad. I didn't have a mother. I think my mother, me and her, we really don't have this correlation of son and mother. But one day it'll come. But I've been by myself for so long. I mean, living by myself, I think I choose that. I choose that.
That independence?
Independence, you probably want to call it selfish or just being a dick. But, I'm not a dick, but...
It's not to be a dick, even if that's how some people may look at it at the time that don't know what you're thinking, right?
Well, no, I'm just saying, people can call me anything in the goddamn world, but so, people cannot say that I play for the money. You cannot ask anyone say I play for the money. Ask anybody about that. If they say I play for the damn money, my God. I don't know. I probably lost more money when I was playing. What are you talking about? I say I lost more when I was playing, damn. Get suspended, doing this, doing that, and yada, yada, yada. So I think that, throwing my jersey out, doing all this crazy stuff, having sex on the court, touche. So it's all good, baby.
1998, before Game 4 of the NBA Finals, you're with the Chicago Bulls. You got a decent amount of flack for jetting off to wrestle with Hulk Hogan. What was the thinking behind that?
I didn't just went.
What do you mean?
Phil Jackson gave me the range to do anything I wanted. Michael Jordan said, you know what? I don't care what he does off the court. As long as he come here and do his damn job, he can do anything he wants. And I'm the first player probably ever have done that. In 1996, I was doing that. 1995, I was doing it. To 2001, I was going between games, going to wrestle, doing this stuff like that. I was doing all these things. And you see people today are doing it in different ways. They're trying to do everything in the book. I was the first guy they asked. I was the first athlete they asked for the Dance on the Stars, and I said no. I said, I'm already famous. What the hell am I doing? I don't need to go on TV and go dance and be more famous. It makes no sense. I need to be more famous by my damn self.
How common was it for you in between games during an off day during the NBA regular season to jet off to Vegas to party for a day?
Oh yeah, you go buck and screw for two. That's straight up. I'm sorry.
But did you need that though?
Oh no, I didn't know that. Dylan still, live it. Come on, man. Utah. I love Utah. I love the people there. I actually screwed a deal over, dude. The guy that owes Carl's Jr. I know he was a Mormon. I went to Utah and told all the Mormons to suck my whatever. And guess what? I said, oh really? I lost that contract. I didn't know the guy was a Mormon. I said, oh God. Okay, whatever, dude. I'm over it. But guess what? We still won. We still won. That's the most important thing. I lost $1 million contract. So I said, well, okay, whatever. And I was the first guy to go on TV at my tattoos. I had tattoos, eating a burger, stuff like that. I had a major contract. But, hello, life goes on.
No, but I mean, did you need that, though, to get away in your off days?
Oh, no, get away. Dude, there's nothing in Utah.
I mean, not just during the NBA regular season.
Oh, no, dude, I would jet set everywhere. You kidding me? I would dude, seriously, take me to Dallas, take me to Milwaukee, take me anywhere, dude. I would just set out the game quick.
What were some of your favorites?
Let's see. Some of my favorites, I don't know, dude. I just go get a bus. I get a tour bus and just go. I'll take the team, so half the team to Atlantic City. And next thing you know, we come back the next morning, we all drunk, having a good time. Boom. Next thing you know, the coach is sitting right there. We're going to practice. Dennis, you ain't got to go to practice. You guys got to go to practice. They're drunk as hell. They're drunk as hell, smoking cigars, everything. Oh, no way. So.
Was there on many of the teams one set of rules for you and sort of another set of rules for the other 11 players?
No, believe me. I think if it's one set of rules, it's probably Michael and Scottie. They deserve that. They built that team, they built that organization. When I came there, I think it's more like, I became almost the first fiddle because It wasn't the fact that I was the star of the show. It's the fact that people related to me, and I think that when you, it's like saying you got the people in New Orleans and people work together and come together and build stuff, or it's people in New York or anywhere, Texas or anywhere in the world, people come together and build something. Especially the hurricane, not the hurricane, the tornadoes that hit the Kansas and all the Midwest over there, dude. And people come together and just help each other. That's when you know people love you, when you know that they see that you're trying to help and give back.
I want to take you back to a moment that you start your book speaking in great detail about April of 1993. You are sitting in the parking lot at the Palace at Auburn Hills, early morning hours, a loaded rifle in your lap, contemplating suicide.
No, I wasn't doing that. And I try to correct that whole statement and that whole part of that chapter of the book.
But in your book, you write about it in a way, in fact, you even say you were those thoughts were going through your mind at the time.
Those thoughts were going through my head. Yes, absolutely. I just wanted to kill that individual, not Dennis Rodman. I just wanted to kill the individual because I was too much of a follower.
And what were the circumstances that sort of led up to that?
I think the circumstance, the fact that everyone was dispersing from Detroit. I think that the organization started to get rid of certain key people of the team. And it was just like, there was no more cohesiveness as far as a family thing. So I was basically by myself, I thought. And I didn't have no family there in Detroit. Even though I had the Janitorises, I had the Dunns, Nancy Dunn, Randy Dunn, their family. I really didn't have anybody, pretty much.
And you wrote in your book to that point, from the outside, I had everything I could want. From the inside, I had nothing but an empty soul and a gun in my lap.
Well, that's pretty much true. I mean, outside you had everything just like athletes. If you look at athletes today, you look at all the guys that want to be this holier than thou. They're actually lonely because they're their own entertainment. I'm entertaining myself every day. I'm Dave, but they got to entertain every day.
You also wrote in your book, and you briefly alluded to this, I discovered I was ready to check out of this life if it meant I could keep from becoming the man I was becoming. Who were you becoming?
Well, it was just, I didn't want to, something came on. When I went to San Antonio, something really revolved and evolved with me. I couldn't tell you how, when, it just happened. I didn't just plan what I was doing. I didn't plan to dye my hair. I didn't plan to be a bad boy. I didn't plan to have tattoos. I didn't plan none of this. I got bored of the game, yes.
How conscious were you, though, of a need to sort of project an image for yourself?
I never did that. I never wanted to create this. I never wanted to create this image. It just happened. I mean, you can always say you can feed the monster, but it's like, I never wanted to do this. I didn't want to do that. If I had to do it all over again, I'd probably do it all over again. Why
would you do it all over again?
The way I did it.
I mean, why?
Because I think, if you look in each individual lives, you always look back. And if you take one moment, that whole saying, you take one moment out of your life, if you can do that over again, would you do it? And guess what? If you took that one movie, you do it over again, guess what? You wouldn't probably be there where you at. If I would have said, okay, Greg, if I had a dad in my life, I wouldn't be where I was. So that sounds kind of up, but it's like, true story. If I had a dad in my life, it's okay, great, you're gonna play football, this, you're gonna do this. I don't think I'd be in basketball. I think the course that was given me that life has offered me, I think that I took it in good ways and very good bad ways.
I want to talk some just about your appearance, and sort of part of what people, some of what people know you for. The first time you dyed your hair, it was a really big deal when you came out, took your hat off when you were with the Spurs. Tell me about how that did come about.
No, I would say, it just came out the blue. We was in Vegas one time, and we came back to San Antonio, and I said, I'm bored. Let's go somewhere. She wanted to go to a mall, and we went to the mall. And next thing you know, this guy asked me, "Come here." There was a guy from a salon, and I said, he said, "What do you want to do?" He said, "You want to do something with your hair?" I said, "Well, do what you want." I sat there for like 2 hours, and the next thing you know, it was a mohawk blonde. That's where it all got started.
How many tattoos do you have?
A lot.
How about how many piercings?
I used to have a lot.
Did you really get your scrotum pierced?
Mm-hmm.
What was the thinking behind that?
Nothing. What the hell are you talking about? You want to go there, brother? Come on, Mr. Conservative guy. This guy's nuts.
Hey,
this guy's nuts, right? He wants to know all this crap. Okay, great, I'll tell you. You want to know, I'll tell you.
Painful experience?
Oh, no, dude, no, dude. You know, I'm saying, once you have so much pain in your life, I mean, you put pain in your body. And I believe that with people, when when you have so much pain in your life, and I went through a pain-driven year, and the more pain I got, the more driven I got.
How so?
When you lose your family, when you lose your wife or girlfriend or your family or your kids and stuff like that, you want to try and find any avenue to alleviate that real pain. So basically, I started tattooing myself to get enamel to some of the things that I was going through.
You said also, you wrote this in your book, that you like dressing up in women's clothes.
Still do today.
Why? What do you like about it?
Nothing. I mean, if you got a great body, show it, right?
What do you recall from the time you told people you were going to be getting married, but you actually showed up, what it really was, part of the book promotion in New York City in the wedding dress?
Nothing. I was flying back from London doing a movie, and it's like 8 of us, and I had the #1 makeup artist in the world. He died of AIDS, bless his soul. And we was coming back doing a book promotion. He said, "What do you want to do, Dennis? What are you going to do for your promotion?" I said, "Oh, great. I don't know. How about a wedding dress? Something cool. This, I would marry myself." It just came out like that. It wasn't designed and nothing. He said, "Oh, that's great. That'd be awesome." Next thing you know, they got on the phone. In the plane, they got on the phone and started calling all these designers, this, making this dress for me. And next thing you know, we got to the hotel, he had all these designers up there measuring me, this, doing all this crap on me, and this, and he doing makeup and stuff like that. So I, they start playing, I start playing, okay, great, give me 8 girls in tuxedos, this, give me a horse and carriage, or give me all this stuff like that. But little did I know this is gonna blow up. I didn't even notice. Next thing you know, I get in the horse and carriage. It was actually raining. It was raining. If you see the videos or whatever, it was raining. Not hard, it was just drizzling and stuff like that. Coming down 5th Avenue. They shut down 5th Avenue. There was so many people down there. So many people. I walked 2 blocks to the bookstore, and had the girls beside me. I walked right in the middle of them, and just saw people everywhere. I'm like, wait a minute, what's up?
What did you think of the reaction?
No, it's a trip. I said, wait a minute. I expect, a couple hundred people, maybe, this. But in New York, and we in Chicago kick your ass all the goddamn time. In New York? Come on. I said, wow. And people, it was probably 180, 190 photographers around the world. And next thing to do, I could believe it. It's true. I said, wow. Thank God I had that veil on, because I said, wait a minute, because it was just people. it was everywhere. And I said, that's one of the great stories in history as far as sports icons. That right there, a lot of sports people today are trying to emulate what I do. And it's like wearing wedding women's clothes or doing certain things. Even guys with tattoos. I started that long time ago. And It's just one of those cult things.
Who do you think are the guys today that really try and emulate what you do?
I mean, you got Montez try to do it a lot, but like I said, I've done it. I mean, I don't knock anybody. You want to do it, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I think that if you can pull it off, pull it off. I mean, but people can see right through you. I mean, with the telecommunication today, I mean, for the phones, the computers, the websites, the Facebook, stuff like that, you can't get away with anything. They see everything you do. It's just like back then, they didn't see anything you did. I could do anything I want. But now you can't do anything right.
At times during your NBA career, you would drive through the toughest parts of town in the city or cities you would be in. Why do so?
This reminded me of what I came from, and it reminded me of the fact that, just watch people. Even today, I do it today. I mean, I can go down the street up here, down the corner up here on Oakland Boulevard, and I see all the people. I actually will stop and give these guys money, man. I've been there. I mean, you can't say just because I'm driving a Maserati or a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or a Porsche or something like that you can't stop and at least give someone some love, and sit there and talk to them and stuff like that. You ain't gotta tell me what you've been through. I know what you've been through. I know what you're going through. Just sit there and have a conversation with them. That's the most important thing right there, bro. And a lot of people, they want to do it for commercial reason or do it for satisfaction, to redeem themselves by people. I just do it because it's natural for me. It's natural. I dress like this every day, just like them, every day.
You would occasionally bring somebody home with you that you would meet driving through these tough neighborhoods. What was the reasoning for that?
Just do it all. I used to do it all the time in Detroit and Chicago.
What would you do?
All the time. Just bring them home. I take them. We sit there and talk. I take them to dinner and talk, and take them home. Boom. I said, what? I take them to the Gap or Old Navy or something like that. That's buy them all these clothes and say, here's $500. Take care of yourself.
How would you describe what your life was like growing up?
Just like any typical black ghetto little person. Fun. I had fun though. I had fun. Don't get me wrong. I had fun though, with the little things that we had. But it was all right. It was all right. My mother did the best job she could.
Your father, Phil, left when you were, I believe, 3 years old and never came back. What did your mother tell you about it at the time when you were younger?
I really didn't care. I really didn't care.
You didn't care?
No, it didn't matter to me. I was over it. I mean, it doesn't matter. Even today, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm living life, man. Living life right now. Like I said, you're not my dad, you're my friend. You're my dad, you're my friend. So, let's leave it at that. It's not I don't hate you. I don't hate anybody in my life. So I think that, just to be honest with you right now, these questions you ask me, I think, it's very hard to answer because you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've answered these questions so many times. I mean, really so many times, and it's just like, it's so redundant to me. I'm not disrespecting, but I'm just saying, I don't really want to reminisce my damn dad or my mother or stuff like that. I mean, you want to talk about something that's very cool, let's talk about something very cool. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be, dickhead. I'm just saying,
Not into talking about...
No, but you know what, though? This makes a great interview. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to talk about it,
I'll just bust your balls. I'll bust your balls, man. Come on, man. You just took it all serious.
No, I don't want to.
You did it all serious. And she was taking it serious. I said, what the hell are you talking about? So it's all good. So I'm just bust your balls, man.
No, I mean, do you want me to...
You say that you asked me anything, but I'm just saying, I think we covered a lot so far.
Tell me about how you met the Riches.
How I met the Riches, it was by accident. By accident.
You ended up becoming lifelong friends with Brian Rich.
Oh, yeah, Brian Rich.
He was, I think, 13 at the time you met him.
I think he was maybe 11 or 12.
Okay, and you were, I think, around 22.
I was 22.
What was the dynamic of that relationship like?
It was actually, from start to finish, great. When you have a screaming white kid come into a gym and you have a black guy from the ghetto, has nothing, and when you go talk to this kid named Brian, and screaming and crying because he didn't want to be there, and I go over and talk to him and say, "Oh, what are you doing? What's going on?" "Oh, screw you." I said, "Okay, great, cool. I'll go with that where I'm going." So you stay over here. But that right there, like I said, most of my life as far as being famous or being in the industry has actually been pure accidental. I've been to the right place at the right time. And that's pretty much what it is.
How well do you recall that first day Brian brought you home?
Oh, that's easy. He brought me home. He asked me to come home with him, and it was on a Friday after the camp was over. And he said, "You want to come to dinner?" I said, "Yeah, great, cool." So he brought his dad. Dad was shocked when he saw a 6-foot black guy. He thought it was going to be a 5'4" white kid. And he said, "We want you to come to dinner." Great, cool. Went to dinner. Went down to this small town, about 600 people, one red light. Went to the house. Got this big table like that, right there, all crystals and all the nice silverware and stuff like that. I never ate like that. I never saw stuff like that. And and the kids taking me around. You sit right here beside me. This is like we're like best buds. And we get there, and next thing you know, boom, we having T-bone steak, baked potato, corn on the cob. Iced tea. And it was so cool, the fact that this little kid, probably this tall maybe, little kid, and I had this tall glass like this, right? And it's about yay thin. My lips are big. He said, "Oh, you can't drink out of that, give me that." So he went in the cabinet and got this big mug, right? He said, "Hey, drink out of this, okay?" So I said, "All right, great, it's cool." I said, "All right, cool. I drink out of that, right?" So next thing you know, so he asked his mom and dad at the table, he said, "Hey, Mom, can he spend the night?" And they literally dropped. I said, "What?" You're in a white, country town, and they just, you probably seen one black person probably in 30 years. But it was funny that the fact that they got off the table, went in the other room, and you could hear them just talking loud. So, "Oh, we can't do this, we can't do it. No way, this is it." And you can see his two brothers outside looking in the window. They actually looking in the window at him. So they came back and said, "Okay, Dennis, you can stay one night." And next thing you know, this white kid jumps up. "Oh, yeah. Come on, let's go. If you ever seen the movie The Toy, that's why I was, Richard Pryor. I was Richard Pryor. I was going just like that, dude. He would say, "Okay, great, we go outside, shoot basketball outside the court," at a court outside. "All right, great, it says all night." Then we come back in, next thing you know, I said, "Okay, great. So where am I sleeping at?" He said, "Well, you sleep with me." I said, "No. Where am I sleeping at?" "No, come on, I got this little trundle bed. We got the bed here, got a little bed, you slide out like this. So he slid this thing, I said, "You sleep right here." I said, "Oh, God, no way." Because I'm used to doing my own thing. So I slept, went down and slept. He got up here. Mom said, "Oh, wow. That is, kiss her baby. I love you, Brian. Good night." She left. 5 minutes later, she came back in. "Good night, Dennis." Like, all right, cool. Then the next morning, she came in the room, and I'm laying on the trauma bed. And next thing you know, the mom comes in and her son's gone. And next thing you know, I'm laying like this, and the little boy's right here, laying beside me. And mom ran out crying.
Really?
And she thought I, probably did something to her son. And the kid heard her and said, "No, it was no," which was nothing. I didn't know he was there until I woke up. I said, "Wait a minute." He was there. And next thing you know, he said, "No, this is," and from that day on, I stayed with him for 3 years.
And it's interesting you say that because the mom, Pat, says you really had a profound impact on Brian because I think it was a year prior, he's a young kid, had a hunting accident where he ended up shooting and killing his...
He shot his best friend. I didn't even know that till a while, maybe a couple of years after. They never told me that because they didn't want to bring it up to him. But they told me the story that he was at a hunting accident and he's loading his gun, a shotgun. Next thing you know, he loaded and cocked it like this, and the gun went off, and his best friend's right in front of him, shot a hole in his stomach and killed him. And that's how everything evolved, because he was staying with him in bed for 4 months, 5 months. He wouldn't go to sleep because he had nightmares every night.
The mom, Pat, also said Worm, which, you know, is your
She always called me
nickname.
Worm. She never called me Dennis. So Worm, you know, a country accent.
Pat said Worm brought Brian out of the deep depression he was in, but at the same time, I think Brian helped save Worm. How do you say he impacted you?
Oh, he kept me actually interested in life, because, you know, I really didn't have anything, you know, basically have anything as far as like a relationship basis wise. I didn't have a relationship with my mother. I didn't have a relationship with my sisters. I really didn't have a relationship in the community I was in. And then once I got there, my interest came back as far as being around individuals. And we had fun every day. We just had fun. Me and him, I mean, he was probably 10 years younger than me, but we just had fun, though. I mean, I didn't look at him as a little white kid. I looked at him, wow. You know, we did the same thing all the time. And we got so used to each other. He followed me around every day, 24 hours a day.
What do you think you most learned during your time with the Riches?
Understanding to just be humble, man. Be humble and live life, man, to the fullest. And they didn't care about the money. They had money. They didn't care about money. And I could have been one of those guys. Okay, great. I was All-American first year. Could have went to another school and probably took some money and did the probably wrong thing. But no, I stayed there and worked my ass off every year. Got up at 5:30 in the morning, worked 10 hours a day. Right there picking peanuts and stuff like that, plowing every day, getting the cows, castrating cows every day.
After graduation, you end up taking a job as a janitor at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. At that time in your life, what did you think of your future plans?
Didn't have one. There was no future. It was more like, okay, great, you're going to jail or you're going to be a drug dealer. That was my future right there. There's no ifs and buts about it.
And then the watches at the airport, how did that all unfold?
No, it was one of those see monkey, do monkey things. You see somebody do something, you do it. And guess what? When you have money, if you think that it's very easy, you know, that's what I say, the world's dumbest criminals. That was my ass. That was me, the world's dumbest criminal. I forgot they got cameras. What do you think about that? Yeah.
What did you stuck a broom through?
I took a broom, whatever that fits. That's what I did. But it's just, I mean, you can see that video. It's probably the most dumbest thing. One of the probably the dumbest thing in the world, because, you know, you don't think about the cameras. You think about, But I did some smart thing. I did do some smart thing. I stole the watch. That was dumb, and plus, I thought I was like cool.
And there were 50 watches, right?
50 to 55 watches, yes. But I did one thing that was actually cool that saved my ass. Is the fact that I didn't sell them. I just gave them away. That saved my ass. Because if I would have sold them and made money from it, I'd probably been in jail 2 to 5 years. That's a major felony, especially in that airport. So I just gave them away. I didn't even sell them. They came and arrested me. They went and got all the watches back.
What did the cops say when they found out you gave them away and didn't sell it?
I think what they're gonna say, you just one of these guys.
So at 19, as you said, you're like 5'9". Then over the next 2 years, you end up sprouting to 6'8". You said that at that point, after you'd really grown, basketball came to you almost easy. How so?
I said everything in my life is basically it's an accident. I said in my book, I said this quote too. I said, guess what? I stole everything I saw in my community. I don't know why I keep saying it, because I've seen a lot of guys that should have been very rich and famous, so successful, and go to jail, get killed and stuff like that. I've seen it a lot, dude. And I was a nobody. And I walked to the gym and see them every day. And next thing you know, I started growing and growing, started getting better and better. Next thing you know, it's like, wow, I'm here.
At 22 years old, you end up deciding to accept a scholarship to Southeastern Oklahoma. Why did you? Because it seemed for a while that really was something you were less than interested in.
No, not really. I wanted to go back to school. I want to go back to school. I had to do something. Living on the streets wasn't what the
When did that kind of, you make that decision that you wanted to,
Well, it wasn't my first main priority to go to school. My first thing is to stay in the house and not be homeless. That's the first thing. But when those guys came in the door, that was an opportunity for me. I could have easily said no. I could have easily said, if I would have said no, I wouldn't be here. Very simple. If I would have said no, get away, hell away.
Because other people had called you too, right? The other coaches, and you wouldn't answer the phone?
I never answered the phone. They called me all the time. I said no.
What?
I talked to them. They showed up. Instead of calling, they showed up. If I would have said no to those guys at the door, they would never came back.
Sex.
You just going there, huh?
You might as well.
You're going there.
Brought it up a million times already.
I go there. Guess what? I'm gonna go there with you.
That's fine. You wrote in your book you were a virgin until 20 years old, which some people would probably be surprised to hear Dennis Rodman was a virgin.
Oh, now, yeah.
20.
Back then, when I first jacked off, I was like, about 20. But when I first had sex with a girl upstairs, wow, that was a mistake. Okay, so she didn't get pregnant, not like that. But I'm saying that, damn, you take what you can get to get. You take what you get together because you gave me choosing, God. Because you know what? You ain't got the damn money to sit there, okay, great, I'm gonna have a good Camaro, a good Trans Am, a good Firebird with T-tops and all that crap like that, or maybe a Monte Carlo, in the club and hanging out at McDonald's, and guess you got a badass girl over here, she won't, what? Go ahead. I'm just going off. I'm sorry, just going off, dude.
How would you describe your sexuality?
Well, I'm cool. I asked you that question earlier, huh? How's yours? Your scrotum.
My scrotum. It's not pierced.
I see, this guy's good. This guy is good. This guy is awesome. You gotta put this in, bro. You gotta put it. It's like what they call the outtakes.
Okay.
The outtakes. Damn it.
Oh, it's gonna be a full episode of the series, and then
okay, dude. Let's put it on. People have a kick out of it,
You said once you had a transsexual lover. How true is that?
No, dude. I had people in Chicago that worked at this place called the Baton, and Mimi Marsh literally became my best friend. She's, I don't want to say she's transsexual, but she's a, she dressed she looks like a woman though, and she has the big ass titties. He has big titties, looks just like Marilyn Monroe. Looks just like Marilyn Monroe, literally. He'll tell you that. I'll be like, damn. That's a guy, yeah, that's a guy. And we hung out literally every day, dude. Every day after practice, I go pick her up, and we go out, just eat lunch, and hang out just all the time. Just hang out, just friends. And I go see the shows all the time, and people thought that we and her was lovers. Me and him was lovers, but we just hung out all the time. Literally every day. She came to every game. Her and her friends came to every game. It was cool.
You told Playboy magazine once that you would visualize being with men.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of guys that's very mentally active wise, because when it comes to a point, and if you go back in the 1700s and 1600s, if you go back then, being with a guy was a Are you kidding me? Look at Julius Caesar, all the goddamn rulers of the world, they was gay as hell. Are you kidding me? My God, it's like, okay, Alexander, go him. Okay. And they did. They were sitting right there and saying, great, you're gonna, okay. And guess what? It was cool. And then when you get to the 1900s and the 20th century, boom, everybody's just tripped the hell out. But all of a sudden now, since it's a great, very great community. The gay community is very cool because gay community really drives a lot of things about this country. He drove a lot of things about this country, and all of a sudden now things are so cool with the gay community, and it's cool because all of a sudden they need to be segregated now. They can just, okay, great, It's cool. You know, look at the guy on 360, that got a news guy. He's gay as and guess what? He's still making $25 million a year. He's still on TV. They all are. And guess what? It is cool now. You know, back then it was like, oh my God, he's gay. If I told people I was gay today, I said, oh, we knew. We knew. We just wait for them to come out. We knew. Next. That's how I've set my life up, pretty much. For people to say, okay, great, we already know. Nothing new. This guy gave me a picture.
No, I mean you gave the history of it. So I mean that's something that you do that you like.
I'm sorry, like what?
Oh, like visualizing it.
Oh no, I think if you qualify to understand about life, you have to visualize what it's going to be like. At least visualize what you think it's going to be like, and put yourself in there. Put yourself in the mix.
Your relationships, Carmen Electra. How did the marriage with Carmen come about?
That was sex in the Hall of Fame.
What?
Oh, it didn't come about at all, man. Carmen, you know, Carmen's Carmen. I think Carmen's a great girl. I mean, she's awesome. Very beautiful girl. We hit off right away. We got married less than 6 months. It was cool. Man, we had a blast. I mean, you know, we're still friends today.
How about your most memorable time with her?
It was good. I remember a time I think that, you know, when I played Pearl Jam for her.
When you played Pearl Jam for her?
Mm-hmm.
What about that?
No, I put earphones on her when I was making love to her, and she started crying. I don't know if she was crying for me, but it was cool. It was cool. It was cool, bro.
So the 1994 NBA All-Star Game, Madonna says on national television, I think Dennis Rodman is cool and I want to meet him. When you see that, what are you thinking?
Not a damn thing.
Really?
I thought it was a joke. She was chasing me in San Antonio. Every day I go to practice, I said, Dennis, Madonna keep calling for you. I said, who? Madonna. I said, the singer? He said, whatever. I just kept blowing it off. The next thing you know, she actually showed up. I'm like, okay, what? What, I supposed to jump up and down because it's Madonna? No, Madonna was Madonna. You know, and I think Brian, my friend, could tell you that, you know, we sat in a pool, literally in a pool in Miami, down the street here in Miami, and we sat outside in the pool and looked in the ocean. I said, I said, what the doing here, Brian? I go to practice. I wasn't even thinking about her. I'm like, whatever, great, cool with Madonna. I thought the music sucked. You know, all bubblegum and all that was like a version. Woo, great, cool. All that crap. So I didn't really give a
I want to take you back a couple months to an event that precedes the Hall of Fame, and it was, you know, another moment in which you were honored when your jersey was retired by the Detroit Pistons. What did that mean to you?
Oh, I didn't deserve that. I was happy. I didn't deserve that.
You said that in the press conference too.
I don't deserve it because I wasn't that long enough to get my number retired. I mean, it'd be different if it was more like, okay, great. I was a very major part of that organization. I was more of as a piece of the puzzle. You know, I was there for 7 years. I actually didn't become somewhat noticeable. Probably my third year, fourth year in that organization, and after that, it pretty much went downhill. And I think that I shouldn't have got my number retired, but it was great. You know, it made me feel good because the people actually still like me there. And I was telling people, I said it'd be shocking if Chicago retired my number.
What do you think the likelihood is?
It's a good chance. What's a good chance?
What would that mean to you?
Oh, I mean, the world. I mean, just because, not because I'm with the greatest players in the world, Mike and Scottie. it's just the fact that those people, they love you so much. I mean, when it's like a sport, it's just so fanatics about people that respect, what they do. And I think Michael Jordan gave him so much love. Scottie, so much love. I mean, all the people especially anyone that played in Chicago, the baseball, the hockey, anybody, they just love him, man. And it's like, you can go back to today and they just would just hug you, embrace you. And it's hard to get that feeling from anyone around the country, man. It's hard.
What did it mean to you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I think if you caught my speech in the Hall of Fame, I really didn't say anything about me. It was about people around me, what I felt. And it was hard, it was very difficult. I didn't even get up there 5 seconds. I was going nuts. Seriously, wow, dude. I tried to get Phil Jackson to talk for me. He would just, go ahead. I said, oh, God, But you know what, for me, it was so refreshing, the fact that, that's what people relate to. I can show the real individual instead of the guy that dressed up in women's clothes, the guy that dressed up in all these exotic clothes. Guy could be the tough guy, the guy could be the badass, could say he screws all the women in the world, but he has his side that God darn, a lot of guys love to do. And I did it because I always do it, And I had my family right in front of me. I was talking directly to them. I wasn't talking to anybody else but them. I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I haven't been a father, I've been a dad or been a son. Sorry about that. Basically like that. And a lot of guys cannot do that. And I mean, really like that. And I think, I wasn't trying to do that to get people to like me. I'm always like that.
Why was it important to you to use that moment, such a public place, to convey those sentiments to them?
Because all my interviews, I never talk about me. I hate talking about me. I hate talking about the fact what I've done and this. I'll talk about people that's around me that help me. That's very, very, very important to my development of life. And if you see my mother, and my kids, they said they were so happy because my kids never see me play. And, people think, and I have a wife, she was right there. It was just cool, and Phil Jackson, it's got Scottie Pippen right there. That was good that he came. I just want people to understand that, because you see a lot of athletes today get emotional on TV. You see a lot. It don't hurt to cry, So it don't make you less of a person if you cry, because we always gotta cry, flush out, the demons and all the activity that life has to offer, and try to start a clean slate.
Why do you think you became so emotional up there?
Easy, my life. My life, simple as that. My life. It ain't a bed of roses. You can always hide behind money and fame. You can always hide behind that, but you don't know behind the closed doors what's really going on. And so basically, I just let all the doors open, and there you go. There it is right there.
You spoke about your children when you were up there. How would you explain what they mean to you?
Oh, they mean a lot to me. I got 4 kids. 2 was there. 2 was at home. They mean a lot to me. They mean a lot to me. Just to see their faces, just to see them, just see when they go to school and saying that, oh, your dad's a dad's dressed in women's clothes. Guess what? My dad's in the Hall of Fame. Shut up. So basically, just give them that little boost of confidence. Okay, great. You know what? I can walk around the school now. Great. I'm cool. I'm cool. Because kids like that. That little status. They want to walk around with the chip on their shoulder and stuff like that. But this way, they have a good chip, not a bad chip. It's a good chip. They ain't gonna be like, I'm cocky, my dad's is this. No, just they can stop, give them all the little, the heckle and jekyll jokes and stuff like that.
What's it been like to see them grow up?
Oh, it's cool. They just growing up real fast. They live in California. I live here in Florida. But when I see them, I'm like, oh, damn, how old are you now? No kidding. No, they said, wow, you like 5'8"? I just saw you a month ago. I said, wow, you're just growing up quick. And it's awesome because, it's just like, wow, it's like the old saying, just yesterday, they were just only 2 years old, you know. So it's like now they're like 12, 13 years old. They go real fit, they go real quick.
Phil Jackson, why select him to introduce you at the Hall of Fame?
Why not? He's a great candidate. I mean, he came to me as a friend, and why not? Great guy, great guy. I mean, he brought his wife, Jeannie Buss, that owns the Lakers, so it was cool. I saw her get emotional, it was cool. I say, oh, Jeannie, Dad, and Jerry.
You saw Jeannie get emotional?
Oh, I saw her get emotional. I was getting emotional. I was like, oh, God, she's getting emotional. It's like, you know, just watching everybody, like, oh. Yeah, she always gets emotional, so.
You recently turned 50 years old. I mean, do you still party as much as you?
Absolutely. You kidding me, dude? Come on.
I know at some point over the years, your friends have had concerns about all of the partying.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you come down on all of that?
Well, I said everything in my speech. I said, and one day I'm going to come to the point where I say, hey, you know, enough is enough. Oh, absolutely. That part is easy. That part is easy. I mean, you know, you can always visualize yourself as, you know, when you get older, and people always saying, you know, I'm thinking I'm getting older because I'm thinking more. I'm thinking more how life works. And, you know, and I'm getting to that point. I said, wow, I'm thinking more, but at least in a good way. When I was back in like 35, 36, hello. You take me to Ritz Carlton, the Four Seasons, hell, we have a good time. So, you know, like, you know, so, but I'm just saying though, even today, you know, like last night, it was awesome. You should have been there, man. You should have brought your film crew here. It's been awesome, dude.
No, but there was a point a couple of years ago where you stepped away from the drinking. You were completely sober.
I was completely sober for 2 years, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
What was that period like for you?
Oh, nothing. I got less sex and smoked cigars.
I mean, how did your body feel, though?
My body was cool.
Why start up again, then?
I was bored.
You were bored?
Very simple.
When do you think enough will be enough? I
think as I get older, you know, I think I'm regressing and saying to myself, oh, enough's got to be enough because, you know, I got to be a father. I got to do something because I can't die alone. You know, at least I want to have somebody to love me. Somebody to love me. I mean, that way I can't have everybody say, okay, great, he just only does this. He don't care about us. I gotta have some communication, some type of avenue with my kids or someone that's in my life.
What makes you happy today?
What makes me happy? I think what makes me happy, I think the fact that the gratification that actually I'm still living. I think that, you know, I believe in, I believe in people now that I didn't before. I believe in certain people that actually like my dumbass. I used to always think that was very superficial, that people look at you because of the money, the fame, and the glory, and the accolades that you've done. But now, you know, like I said, as I'm getting older, I'm actually looking at a different, in a wise way. And so I think that what makes me happy more than anything. It keeps me persevering and moving in a good direction. And like I said, you know what? I burn both ends of the candles. I said on my speeches. I burn both ends of the candles. Everyone know that. And I'm still here. You know, you got the Jimi Hendrix, you got the Jim Morrison, you got the Janis Joplin, you got the girl that's died, Amy Whitehouse or whatever her name. And it's like all those people died at 27 years old. At 27 years old, brother, they're more famous dead than they were living. They're making more money now than living. I mean, look at the Elvises, look at the Michael Jackson, look at those guys. They're making billions. Marilyn Monroe, billions, being dead. I'm still living. I'm still living. People thought I'd be dead, literally at 40 or 45. Because of where I was burning the count on both ends. Like I said, I'm surprised I'm still here, but guess what though? Something is keeping me holding on for a good day for me, for my good day. Something's keeping me holding on.
Why do you think you are still here?
I guess I'm persevering. I'm persevering. Somebody has a good hold on Dennis Rodman's life. Somebody has a great hold and a great grasp. And hopefully that one day I will be in his grace of love. And that day I said, you know what, I apologize. Should have been better.